Hello there, and welcome to Her Money Mindset, the podcast where we talk about all things money, mindset, and how our relationship with finances shapes our lives. I'm Courtney Schweingler, and I am so excited to have you here. This podcast is for women who want to take control of their financial futures, transform the way they think about money, and finally break free from any limiting beliefs or fears surrounding their finances. Whether you're just starting out on your money journey, looking to build wealth, or want to get clear on your financial goals, this show is for you. Here on Her Money Mindset, we're diving deep into topics like budgeting, saving, investing, and everything in between. But we're not just talking numbers and strategies. We're digging into the real reasons why so many of us struggle with money in the first place. Our mindset around money plays a huge role in how we handle it, and it's about time we got real with it. I'll be sharing tips and tools to help you feel more confident in your financial decisions, but we'll also be exploring how your personal history, upbringing, and past experiences with money can influence how you manage it today. It's time to heal that relationship with money and make it work for you. So, if you're ready to shift your mindset, build the life you deserve, and start making your money work for you, then you're in the right place. I can't wait to take this journey with you. But before we jump into this episode, I have to tell you about something that has been helping so many women in this community finally get control of their money, and that is my Budgeting Basics bundle. This is a digital pack filled with the exact tools I use to stop living paycheck to paycheck and start feeling confident with my finances. Inside, you'll get my signature budgeting template, a debt payoff tracker, savings challenges, a money mindset reset, an expense audit, and even a 2-week budget bootcamp to help you get back on track fast. So, if you're ready for a fresh start with your money without the overwhelm, this bundle is where I would have you begin. You can grab it now using the link in the show notes, and be sure to use code HMMPodcast for 15% off. And if you know that you want help with your money and money habits, but you want something faster than self-paced work, personalized, and someone to directly hold you accountable, sign up for private one-on-one coaching with me. I'll have the link in the show notes for you. You can do a one-time one-on-one coaching call to answer your budgeting basics, get your budget set up, and get you on your way. Or you can do my 12-week private coaching program for more accountability, structure, and motivation. Now, spots are limited, so make sure you sign up today for a free consultation call. There are only 9 spots left for the month of August. Also, please leave a review of the podcast. This is such a great way to tell me and others that you enjoy this podcast. Now, let's dive into this episode. What to do when your budget isn't working anymore. So, you've been sticking to your budget for months, but lately it just feels like everything is falling apart. You're overspending, you're frustrated, and you're wondering if budgeting even works for you anymore. So, trust me, this is normal. This happens to people who have been budgeting for years. It happens to me. It's normal. Do not let yourself spiral and think that you're not good with money and think that you have no control. This is normal, and it's okay to go through these seasons and these ebbs and flows of budgeting. So, throughout this podcast episode, what we're going to do is we are going to go through 5 clear steps on how to get your budget back on track without having to start over from scratch. So, there's a lot of different reasons why budgets stop working, and over the summer, my budget with my family actually stopped working, and let me tell you why. Lifestyle changes. So, we had some new expenses with my business. I started expanding more and investing in more stuff for my business. Life events. Maybe you've got some kid activities. So, like for my son, we do horseback riding with him, and then we did some swimming lessons, maybe some medical costs that are popping up, inflation and cost of living. So, groceries, gas, childcare. You guys, let me tell you something. So, my schedule at work at my regular 9 to 5 is changing, and this change is super good for me and my family. However, it is also going to cost us $1,000 extra every single month just for childcare. Just for childcare, on top of what we already pay. So we already pay a certain amount for our childcare, and then that amount is going to go up by another $1,000. And our cost for groceries over the summer, I don't know what it is, if we're just more hungry in the summer, but our cost for groceries has also increased by at least $100 to $200 in June and July. So I'm going to kind of test the waters. I'm going to see how it goes as we come into August and into September and see if things kind of settle down. But if not, I can go through these 5 steps that I'm going to tell you, and I can say, okay, do I need to make adjustments and do I need to make a permanent change to the budget? So, like for example, the childcare, that is a permanent change to our budget. But my son's swim lessons, that was just for the summer, so that's a temporary budget change. Maybe you had income changes. So maybe you have a side hustle that you lost. Maybe you're not able to do it. Maybe you had fewer work hours. Maybe you switched to a new job. Maybe you're on medical leave, family leave, whatever. Maybe you're just in budget fatigue. So maybe you're in the I'm over it feeling that leads to slipping back into those sneaky old habits. Maybe you're not tracking your money in real time, so you're relying on your memory instead of the tools that are there to help you. So let's go through these 5 steps. Step 1 is you're going to identify what changed. So you can review. So my recommendation is this part can be really overwhelming. So my recommendation is if you don't know right off the bat what changed, like for me, I know right off the bat our childcare, groceries, and random things like my son's swim lessons changed our budget. But if you don't know right off the bat, the recommendation is to review the past 2 to 3 months of spending. However, my personal recommendation is start with just 30 days. And then you can do that with my 1 month expense audit. It's completely free. I'll have it linked in the show notes for you. And what you do is you go to the last 30 days and you track all of your spending. Yes, it is tedious. Yes, I'm not gonna lie, it kind of sucks. But the results that you get are really eye-opening and they are very valuable. And that is why that I recommend that you do that. And if you feel like you need to go back further to further identify the changes in your budget, totally fine, just do it again. So you're looking for categories that increased or expenses that weren't there before. So you need to be asking yourself, is it my spending that changed, my income that changed, or was it both? So did your spending go up and your income went down? Did your spending go down but your income went up, but your budget is still kind of just wonky? Is it both? Like, what's going on here? Then step 2, you need to recalculate your numbers. So once you've figured out what the deal is, you need to recalculate those numbers. So like for my grocery budget, instead of $400, I realized I needed to update that, and I needed to update it to $600 and test that out and see how that was working, because I spent a few months constantly being over budget with groceries, and honestly it was annoying, it was frustrating, it was making me feel like I was doing something wrong. But I just took the time to recognize and say, hey, I'm still buying the same stuff that I usually buy. My kids are getting a little bit older, so they're eating a little bit more. So I'm just going to update this. I'm going to cut some things from a few different areas to give us some more money to spend on groceries. And now I have so much more peace of mind knowing that I can just spend up to that $600 and still be within budget instead of constantly stressing and putting myself down for going over the grocery budget. So recalculate those numbers, update your monthly income if you need to, update those fixed expenses if you need to, and decide what percentage you want to allocate to your savings, your debt payoff, and your fun money. Because remember, even if we are kind of on a tight budget, you still need to incorporate room for fun money. Why? Because the second you start feeling restricted and like you have no room to do anything fun with your life, you're not going to budget anymore. You're going to stop, because that's not the way you were meant to live life. It's not. That is not the purpose of your money. The purpose of your money is to do what you tell it to, not the other way around, right? So then another thing you can do is you can remove some outdated sinking funds or some categories that you no longer use. Step 3, try simplifying your budget. So consider, if you've got a ton of different categories and it is just stressful, try moving it to just 5 to 7 core ones. So if instead of each subscription that you have, just bundle it together in subscriptions. Or if you have a bunch of small expenses, Bundle it to lifestyle or personal or kids. So, like personal, if it's, I don't know, like your body wash and your makeup or whatever. If you know that you spend a certain amount of money on those things, just put it in personal category. And then like with my kids, they need diapers, they need wipes, they need snacks, they need diapers and wipes for school, they need whatever, a new toy. I don't know. I just have a section called kids in my budget. So I don't have to specifically break down, oh, I budget this much for diapers. I budget this much for wipes. I budget this much for wipes for school because there's a difference between the wipes for school and the wipes for home, right? So try doing that. See if that makes it less overwhelming for you. And then use tools like the Budgeting Basics bundle to make adjustments quickly and to get yourself on an established, proper routine and schedule for your money to get more income in and to decrease those expenses as you need to. Then, step 4, add more flex money. So, like I kind of mentioned a little bit earlier, so if you've been too strict with your budget, loosen up. Loosen up, because you know what's going to happen is you're going to get burnt out and you're going to stop budgeting, just like I said. Then, what I also want you to do is I want you to build in a $50 to $100 budget or buffer into your budget for life happens moments. And I do this because I forget, I'm a human, I forget things all the time. I forget that, oh, we have a work lunch and I was supposed to bring fruit. And a freaking fruit platter is like $20 these days. So it's just for those random things that pop up that you knew about but you forgot about, or maybe it's just completely unplanned and unprompted and you just need some extra money. That's okay. That's what life is for. The budget's flexible. That's why we have it. So build in that $50 to $100 buffer into your budget. And if you need to build it over time, that's totally fine. Start with $10 a paycheck. So $20 a month, just keep it in your account. Don't spend it. And that will be your buffer. Then when you get up to that $50 to $100, then that's when we can be like, oh yeah, that's what this money is for. It's for that life happened moment. And then when you use it, just make sure you're being intentional about building it back up again. So this is exactly how adding flex money into my budget reduced overspending stress, because I wasn't constantly freaking out about, oh, we don't have the money for that. We don't have the money for that. I took a breath and I said, this is why we have our buffer. This is why we have this sinking fund. This is why I added more money into our fund money, whatever reason it might be, right? Then step 5, our last step, is you want to create a short-term reset plan. So try focusing on only the most essential categories for a month and see how that feels. And try doing weekly check ins to make adjustments as you need to. So I always recommend doing a Sunday or Monday money check in. And what this is you are going to look at the number in your bank account. Then you're going to look at the number of bills that you need for the next week. So if you have $100 in bills for the next week, make sure you have that number in your checking account. Then go to your variable expenses. Do you need to buy gas? Do you need to get groceries? Like, say you have $75 of variable expenses for the next week. That's going to be $175 that you have to have in your bank account. Then add a buffer, because life happens. We all know it. Then just make sure you have that money in your account and you have the peace of mind. So when you go to buy your gas for your car, you can swipe your card and you don't have to worry about it, because you know that that money is there for you to use. When that bill comes due, you're not freaking out worrying about whether or not you've got that money in there, because you took the time to plan for it and to make sure that your money is in there. Perfect. Great. And trust me, when I tell you, this makes a huge difference. It really does. This is one of the easiest and most practical ways to start experiencing truly what financial peace feels like, is knowing that you took the time to get yourself set up for success and you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry. It makes a huge difference, you guys. Now, let's talk about some mindset shifts before we wrap up this episode. So, your budget is a living document. So, this means you can change it. This is not a punishment. You can change it and you can edit it as needed. Now, I'm not saying you can go all willy-nilly and you can just do what you want and spend all this money in the world and then have to scramble for rent money. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you can make changes as you need to. If something unexpected pops up, we can take from a different category, we can add to another category, we can do adjustments as we need to. And if you find yourself needing a little bit more guidance and a little bit more help doing this is a perfect time to do private coaching. I'm here, we do video calls, and I walk you through step by step what we should be doing, what adjustments we should be making, and how we can move forward. A one-time one-on-one strategy call is also a perfect place to do this to get your budget set up and get you on your way. The budgeting template is included with that as well. Then remember, just because you need to change your budget, that doesn't mean that you failed. It just means you're adapting to your circumstances and you're learning what works for you and what doesn't work for you. So instead, I challenge you, celebrate that you noticed your budget wasn't working instead of just ignoring it and continuing to overspend. It's all about reframing your mindset and shifting your mindset. All right, you guys. I really hope that you're leaving today with the reminder that your budget is not set in stone. It's meant to grow, to shift, and to adapt right alongside your life. If something isn't working, it does not mean that you have failed. It just means it's time to make some tweaks so your money works for you again. So, if you're ready to make these changes, but you want a clear and simple plan to follow, grab my Budgeting Basics bundle. This is the exact system that I use to get my clients out of the paycheck to paycheck cycle, make their budget fit their real life, and actually stick to it long term. And if you have a mortgage and you are trying to pay off your mortgage early, go check out my mortgage payoff calculator if one of your goals is being debt free faster. So I'll have both of those linked in the show notes for you. And you can use the code HMM Podcast for 15% off any budgeting tool or even a private one-on-one strategy call with me. And if you are craving the extra layer of accountability, you can always book a one-on-one coaching session with me, and you can book that free consultation call. So that free consultation call, what we do is this is a simple, free, and no judgment phone call where we go over what your finances look like, an actionable step that you can do today to help you move forward, and to decide if her money method, private coaching, is right for you. So I'll help you get crystal clear on your numbers, create a plan you can actually stick to, and make sure your budget feels doable, not dreadful. Lastly, I would love to hear from you. So give me a DM over on Instagram at hermoneymindset_ and tell me one thing you're going to change in your budget this week. I love chatting with you guys and cheering you on in real time. So thanks for hanging out with me today. I'll see you back here next time. And until then, go take that next step towards your financial freedom. I hope you guys have an awesome week, and the next episode will be out on Friday, so I will see you then.